Is Solar Opposites good? The short of it is, it's alright. It's, not terrible, not great. Just somewhere in between, depending on the episode you watch, whether it's towards the bad or the good. So Solar Opposites was written by one of the creators of Rick and Morty, Justin Roiland, and I don't want you going into this show thinking it's going to be as good as Rick and Morty, because it absolutely is not. Not that I'm trying to compare the show to Rick and Morty, but to a certain extent, you kind of have to, because they definitely took elements from Rick and Morty and put it in this show. I think one comment I heard someone say was, it's almost like a shittier version of interdimensional television, and I would sort of agree with that. Basically what I'm saying is, if you are thinking Solar Opposites is going to be the same level quality as Rick and Morty, you're gonna have your soul crushed. Not that I would ever have my soul crushed from an animated show. So Solar Opposites, written by Mike McMahon and Justin Roiland, centers around a family of aliens from a better world who must take refuge in Middle America. They disagree on whether this is awful or awesome. And there are 8 episodes for the first season. They're roughly around 20-21 minutes, so it's definitely something you can binge watch in a few hours and, see if you like it or not. Honestly, the series does get better as the season goes on. I almost quit after the first few episodes just because it wasn't too interesting and reminded me of a cheap copy off of things we saw in Rick and Morty, but definitely it gets better after that as you watch. It's like an uphill from the first couple episodes. The last 2 episodes, fucking gold. What's really weird to me is I generally really like Justin's sense of humor and his over-the-top violence, and they have over-the-top violence in this show, but it doesn't work as well it has for other creations of his. And I'm so sorry to bring up Rick and Morty again, because I know that's not fair. But for example, during the Vindicators episode with Vance, his absolute brutal death is hilarious. How they go about it is just so absurd. And I feel like they tried to do similar things in this first season and with this series, and it didn't always land the same way, and it just kind of felt like shocker violence just to be shocking violence. Which is great, but there needs to be a bit more build-up to it, or for it to make a bit more sense. I know just saying shocker violence is weird, and saying it has sense to it, but it does if you go and look at other works of Justin's. Okay, last time I'm gonna bring up Rick and Morty, I swear. So Justin voices Corvo, and sometimes you swear you're listening to Rick talk, and it can be a little bit jarring, but I don't necessarily think that's his problem. I think he did enough with his voice to distinguish it from Rick and Morty, but at times it feels like it really does slip into that, especially the speech patterns of Rick. I will say the absolute best part of the series is the wall. I would absolutely watch an entire show with the premise of what is going on in the wall. It blew me away. And maybe I teared up a little bit, like a little bitch. We don't need to bring it up. It's not a big deal. So the wall is where one of the alien children have shrunk down people to put in for various offenses. Sometimes it can just be farting and blaming it on one of the children, or maybe you got an order wrong and they go, fuck you. And it's basically a collection of shelves or different rooms that are connected. And as you'd imagine, a bunch of shrunk down humans leads to levels, territories, dictatorships, and so on. The storyline going on in the wall is phenomenal, and again, as the episodes go on, it gets so good. So there you go. If anything, watch this show for the wall plotline. It is so good. Other fun things, the intro changes a little bit each time where he talks about why he dislikes Earth, so pay attention to that, or maybe just skip towards the end of the intro, because I do agree it does get very repetitive. Also, the background scenes are a lot of fun. There are details, not anything too crazy, but enough where it might be worth pausing certain scenes to look at the background objects and what they drew in there. I thought a lot of it was really cute. I enjoyed pausing to take a look. Maybe you will too, if you like that sort of detail stuff. Keep in mind, I'm one of those people that like rewatching scenes and then paying attention to background actors, what they're doing, because I just think it's fun to take it in the entire scene. But that's with live action, obviously, not animation. So I'd say if you have 3 hours to spare, I'd binge watch this show. It's decent, it's not the best, but you'll get some laughs, and the wall plot line, again, so good. And apparently they're getting a second season, so maybe it'll get even better. If you've seen Solar Opposite Season 1, let me know what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, and come back for more videos.